So this is awesome. I moved over to Home Depot and I have this huge parking lot section all to myself, at least for tonight. How cool is Well, I stayed outside of Home Depot tonight, or last night. Wasn't too bad. The freeway's right there, but again, I sleep in with earplugs. I'm actually walking in right now because I got to get a couple of things, but it's kind of chilly this morning, but not too bad. There's the RV. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm actually going to move my RV over to Walmart, the way other end of this huge parking lot, because the Starbucks is near over there. And I got a little bit of work to do this morning, and then I am going to drive all the way into sort of the downtown Cedar City area, because there are some things that I want to explore. And I identified a really good possible boondocking spot that I'm gonna go park at, but this has been a really awesome spot. And you can kind of see over there, there's that tower, but this has been a really, really awesome spot for me, just kind of starting out and testing all this out. Well, I'm gonna move over to the Walmart parking lot. After I let the engine warm up for just a bit. Get a little bit of work done. Let's see, since it's winter time, I'm in an RV that is still in an area that is getting below freezing at night, and I have been for the past 3 weeks or so. I have had to kind of partially winterize my RV, which means I have antifreeze in my water lines. And if you get an older RV like I do, you might have to do this, and I'm just going to show you this really quick. I've already got 6 or 7 gallons of it in the RV, but I cycle periodically. I turn the water pump on and I let a little bit of it cycle, just as a precaution to make sure the lines are moving. So I'm going to show you this little device right here too. This is designed for these kind of crazily designed water inlets. So this leads right to the RV's water tank, fresh water tank. And I'm pouring water, or the antifreeze, directly into the water tank, which means I'm going to have to flush it out probably in a couple of weeks when I get to an area where I know I'm not going to be below freezing at night. But for now, this works. So what I've done is I've got this little setup right here. Normally this would attach to a water hose, and there's a little spigot here that allows you to turn it on and off. And then that's how I would fill. But this is designed so that you can put this all the way in there. Because if you just try and pour water in here, whoever designed this didn't think through, half of it comes out. And some of it's going to come out a little bit here. But what I'm doing here is I'm just putting this in. And then I'm pouring antifreeze in. And that little device right there, it just helps to prevent a lot of it leaking out. A little bit might leak out, and you can see a little bit starting to, but about once a week, once every 2 weeks, because I am cycling some of the antifreeze, I have gone and put just a little bit more back into the tank And you can see right here, this is a really good brand, but I've used a couple of others. But I just put the whole thing in. And this has protected my water lines. Okay, and then I take this and I just put it back into my little storage area right there. And drop that down. There it goes. Gotta replace that. Making the whole lock turns, which is hilarious. Okay, and then this thing goes back in, it locks like that, and then I have to pull it forward, and then that. Now, in my little kitchen area right here, I've had to use this temporary water system. I've got some water jugs, like this one right here, underneath the bed that I've been using to fill this up just as I need to. And so, consequently, I've had to learn to be very careful with my water usage. So a conservation thing is good. But I've been making sure that I am cycling the antifreeze through the lines. Even though it's antifreeze, I've just been once a week or so. For the past couple of weeks that I've had to keep my RV winterized, I turn on the water pump, which is right here. It detects right now that the water lines are pressurized, but as soon as I turn it on, the water pump will come on, and there you can see that I've got antifreeze in my lines. And I turn on both the hot water and the cold water lines. Now, one of the things that you'll need to remember to do if you have to do this is the water lines also go to the hot water heater. And I'll take you outside and I'll show you that. But one thing that you have to do is you want to make sure that you're not getting a lot of antifreeze into the hot water heater. And so you'll have to locate it in your RV. Mine is underneath the bed, but there are two shutoff valves that you have to shut off that will prevent the water from going into the hot water heater. So here is where my hot water heater is. Frankly, I've never used it, but when you're going to drain it, it needs to drain. There'll be a plug like this that'll be in here, and you'll just want to drain it out, and just pull this out, and all the water will just drain out here. It'll be okay. So as soon as I get my water lines back in, I will re-enable the connection so that the hot water heater can fill with water, and then you'll put this plug back in, and that plug will just keep water from coming out. So that's all.